What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Me and my daughter Ava are out here working on her truck, Little Red. She's installing the engine mounts back on the side of the block. You saw last week we had it set down in the chassis. I used that piece of tubing that she's holding right there, welded it to the old, cut the ears off the old motor mount brackets that bolt to the engine, and then I'm still using the same plates that I made, and we're gonna weld them to there to make them solid. After getting the cab back on, we realized that we could probably shove the motor back another couple inches, so we have. I think we got enough room. I had to cut a little bit off that side because the motor won't sit in level. That's why Ava's putting it back on. We don't have the bolts back in the cab yet, but we may end up having to take it back off when we start working on the transmission cross member under here. Anyway, we're gonna pill on this a little while. Y'all stick around, we'll see how far we get. Okay, well, we pulled the motor all the way back out of the chassis. You can see our motor mounts that I'm fabricating there. I cut a little bit off this because the engine wasn't sitting level. Trimmed a little of that off, and when we were trying to shove the motor all the way back, our lifting eye, adjustable lifting eye there, was hitting the cowl. Well, the cowl is only used for the wiper motors. Being this is gonna be a drag truck, we don't really need wiper motor mounts, so I cut that piece of the cowl out there in the center. That'll also give us better access to the distributor, as the distributor on the small block is in the back. It also should allow us to slide the motor back just a touch more. Still trying to decide whether I'm gonna use the brake booster or if I'm gonna get a manual brake. I guess when we get the motor in here, we'll make that final decision. All right, let's see if we can't push it back in there. All right, everybody, we got the engine in there and got that engine mount back on that Ava took off. And after we did that, we went ahead and stopped what we were doing on that and went ahead and made a transmission cross member. I didn't take any video of it, but we do have transmission cross member under there. Temporary for right now, just to kind of hold it up. And now, after we did that, we took some measurements, and the driver's side is actually too high, so I'm getting ready to take a little bit more off the driver's side now. And hopefully when we cut that off, the engine will be pretty much sitting where it's supposed to go.
Hey everybody, so me and my dad today have been working on Little Red, and we got the engine mounts and the transmission mounts in today. And so we're gonna call it a day, and we'll pick back up on Little Red Tuesday. So stay tuned.
All right, guys, you heard it. Ava's been out here working. We got the engine mounted where we want it. We got it really close to the firewall. Got it shoved back as far as we can get it to make this truck transfer weight good. We got it mounted a little bit higher, and then we're gonna move the battery and the radiator back there in the back in the bed. So hopefully it should work pretty good. Y'all stick around, we'll get back on it Tuesday. What's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday afternoon. Me and Ava are out here working on Little Red. The last video we were working on this weekend, we were trying to get the engine in place to tack everything, and we run out of time, so we come back out here. Ended up putting a string down there. As you can see, it's right there. Down the center line of the chassis, so we can get the motor pretty much in the center front and rear. We got that straight. Ended up having to take the driver's side mount back off and trim a little bit off the pipe because the motor was not sitting straight. But now we got everything tacked in. We got our pipes between the engine plates and the chassis plates. We're gonna cut the excess off right up here since we don't need all that sticking out the front. And finish welding those up and hopefully put the motor in for the last time. What's going on, guys? It's Thursday afternoon. We left off working on Little Red Tuesday, and yesterday we decided to take a little break. Me and Ava did some hunting. This morning we had a little last minute Christmas shopping to take care of. So now we're back out here working on Little Red. After we got the motor in, we realized we had a couple clearance issues. So we put it over here on the lift so we can pick the cab up. This piece of metal right here, the back of the engine was hitting where you can see a shine up there. So I cut that section out, and what I'll do is space that up and back a little bit and then build metal around it to fill it back in. That should give me clearance on the back of the engine. And then also, I ended up having to cut my motor mount pipes down a little. And right down here, you can see where it shined up. My oil pan was hitting here. So what I'm gonna do is notch this piece right here and then flip it over and weld it back in. And y'all stick around and I'll show you how it turns out. Okay guys, we just got finished up. During that time lapse, I turned the camera off when I went to the bench to cut this piece of angle iron, then I forgot to turn it back on. But after I notched the cross member here, I got a piece of angle iron cut, laid that in there, tacked it in place, took a piece of flat bar, cut a little piece to go here and a little piece to go over there, tacked that all in. We dropped the motor back in the hole after I got it tacked up and had plenty of clearance, so we pulled the motor back out of the hole and I welded it up. Sorry I didn't cut the camera back on, but it happens. Only thing we got left to do now is fix the hole in the transmission tunnel, and we're gonna set the cab back down on the chassis and put the motor back in to do that. And we're gonna probably work on that from the inside of the cab, make sure we got plenty of room with the motor and the transmission there on the bottom of the cab. We have a little family get together going on this evening, so me and Ava are getting ready to go to the house, get cleaned up.
Merry Christmas.
Country Boys Hot Rods wants to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody spends time with their family and remembers the true meaning of Christmas. Appreciate y'all watching. Check us out next week.